Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guest. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, England has fallen. Not literally, but it is getting that way. To where rampant anti-Semitism is basically running wild because they are bringing in immigrants. And because they do not want, for some reason, look, I do not think that everybody in any group is terrible. I do not think that all Muslims are bad people at all. If they come from places where the religion is directly tied to the government, then we have a conversation to be had. But that does not mean we should ostracize entire populations. On the other hand of things, what liberals are doing is stupid. Giving a free pass because they think it'll make immigrants look bad, when the fact that they are not arresting them like they should when they actually do things is what makes them look bad. And it's what sows the division, not their presence. The fact that people wash their hands of any wrongdoing that anyone in that community might do is what sows the division. And then they play it up and say that it's racism or Islamophobia. But anyway, sorry, this is the part where I describe what we're about to see in the whole thing instead of just one video. I apologize. And then we're going to get into a little trailer of Blood of the Dawnwalker, a movie that I'm pretty sure is made by the original devs of The Witcher, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm excited. I'm a big fan of the vampire game, and this looks like a more refined version of that game, if I'm completely honest, but we'll get into that. Al Gore is not a super serial person, and we'll get into the Hasan Diddy Piker situation that's going on. He went on yet another crash out. I've tried not to talk about Hasan because it's a very niche issue, but he's growing in popularity, so a lot of you, even those that don't watch this, know who he is. But if we have time, we'll get to that. But first, let's get started with Britain Has Fallen.
Which is more speech, absolutely. Really quickly, and this, just as we're about to go live, we don't have a lot of information. An attacker stabbed two people in London, specifically a Jewish neighborhood. As the information comes in, we'll roll a video here in just a few moments. Looks like he specifically targeted Jewish people, chased them down and stabbed them. I always try.
And let's preface this with a little bit, because there are more Jewish people ushered aside and told to get out of certain neighborhoods by police than there are people for attacking Jews in England. At least that's the way it seems. And I'm sure that is indeed the truth, because I've seen several videos. This is going to sound like the most ignorant statement ever. I've seen several videos and I've heard many statements. Some of my friends are in England, and they've told me similar, that people will be ushered out of neighborhoods that are heavily Islamic based, because they see, I'll observe with my eyes that you are in fact Jewish. It's a horrible accent, but and people will have attacks like these, and Keir Starmer will come out and make a statement, but we don't want you to make statements. We want you to make arrests. We want you to put out there that this is not acceptable behavior. Saying it's not means nothing. You can say, Bobby, if you keep doing this, you're going to go to timeout. Okay, and timeout is literally just timeout. It's a few minutes to think about what you did. They don't. They let them right back out, if it even gets an arrest. But let's continue.
Try and, hold a little bit and get information before, or see the whole picture before we deliver information to you. I think there's going to be a press conference. But this brings me to a point, I sent this and I considered actually sharing these texts with blurring out any personal information. Gerald knows this, and people here know this. Over the last week, I have told people, I've said, look, I really think something pretty bad is going to happen here soon. And I don't just mean based on vibes. I don't just mean, oh, my gut tells me something. I mean through the objective, the variables that I could quantify objectively. We're at an unprecedented place, and I want to give you some specific examples, and it's very disturbing. Look, we know that the left, right? We've talked about this, and they've doubled down. The rhetoric from the left, Nazi, fascist, rapist, pedophile protectors, you see that, right? Genocidal maniac, whatever it is that they use. There's a straight line between that and the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the attempts on President Trump. It's pretty easy to see because, hey, they believe that. The left is detached from reality. They believe, many of them, not all of them, not all, that you're a Nazi. They believe that you...
And for those of you just signing it, hey, Yanuka. And you have to realize this, for those of you who may watch this later, because I've been getting more views of late. This does not mean liberals, because in spite of everything, I still consider myself at least fairly liberal. I still think people should be allowed to live as they wish, as long as they're not actively hurting people physically, and aren't conspiring to hurt people, and aren't pushing other people to hurt people. I think people like Hasan Piker do more than toe the line when it comes to that, but we'll get into that later. But as far as the left, I don't like the rhetoric, and this has been since he first joined, or since he first started to run for president. Trump and all that he does is very Nazi-esque, as what they say. This is all a fantasy. If anything, like I wouldn't call him a liberator, but it would be a more accurate statement than a Nazi. People will literally stand up for the Ayatollah, even though he gunned down. I mean, I've heard estimates from 10,000 to 40,000 people, but at least 10,000, but probably tens of thousands of people for protesting. And people are protesting in America that Trump is worse, and yet they live. No, yeah, I don't like that. Did I say my truth? But yeah, no, I don't like the term "my truth" anyway either. If I said my truth, my God, I need to rinse my mouth out with the acid. But
you're a fascist. They believe that you would commit genocide against trans people. Many people believe that about Charlie Kirk. Well, put yourself in a world where you 100% know beyond any shadow of a doubt that your neighbor is a Nazi who is killing trans people. You'd probably stop them too.
And that's the thing. I keep hearing about. Oh yeah, no, and that started from rabid feminist, the third, or whatever you want to call it, third, fourth wave feminist, wherever we're at now. That's where that whole my truth thing started. And there is no my truth. There's my perspective. There's my version of events, but there is no my truth. There's there's what one person says, there's what the other person says, and usually somewhere in the middle, there's the truth. Some people are more honest. Some people lie to themselves to believe these things. That doesn't make it your truth. That makes it your mental illness. But there is, and people have been saying for years that there is a trans genocide. What they don't tell you is it's mostly caused by suicide. And the suicide rates have gone up since the mass acceptance and coddling of it has gone up. That's statistically correct.
That's where these people are. So we know that. But that brings me to the Marxist right. This is why I say something bad is going to happen. I have never seen this in my lifetime. Look, wherever you line up on Erica Kirk, the optics or decisions made as far as the organization TPUSA, that's beside the point. The gleeful celebration and mocking the pain of a widow, and I don't use the term trauma the way that other people use it. It's traumatic, I had a bad boyfriend. No. Probably had to watch her husband be murdered hundreds of times and answer questions and identify the body. And I would imagine doesn't know which way is up emotionally and probably won't for a while now. People going out of their way to attack, mock, and specifically the pain of the widow used as a tool. I don't mean like O.J. Simpson jokes about it because everyone kind of knew that he did it and it's a joke on a late night show. I mean, if you go on social media, oh, is your husband dead? Cry about it, husband killer, and to the tune of hundreds of thousands of posts and millions of views and likes and retweets. It's a level of evil and demonic.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to describe it, that is actually detached from reality. Because people will then respond, well, you know what, that husband offer. Someone said this when I responded. That husband offer deserves it. Are you sure about that? That's how people justify the kind of behavior we're seeing. Yeah, that person who killed her, she deserves it. You better have some really, really solid evidence to go after a widow and mock the pain of losing a husband publicly, repeatedly, if you're going to do that. And I haven't seen any evidence of it. But people live in a world, these same people believe, you guys need to be aware of this. When we talk about the fracturing of the right, I'm not talking about policy disagreements on marginal tax codes or even the level of foreign intervention. I'm talking about there is a contingency of people who believe, who claim to be on the right, that we have an administration that is protecting, abetting, supporting pedophiles, and actively sacrificed Charlie Kirk with a complicit TPUSA and Erica Kirk. They believe that 100%. And if you say, hold on a second.
I think Candace Owens' followers believe it. I don't think Candace Owens believes it. I've said this before, and I will say it until I am blue in the face, which is getting closer. My circulation's terrible. But Candace Owens is a grifter. She's conservatives. She's never agreed with you. Okay? She's never been one of you. I've been saying this since her rise to prominence came from nowhere. She started off as the social autopsy person. Look it up. She was lambasted by the left and the right. One of our few moments of unity. It's moments like Candace Owens' social autopsy and that chick from the Black Eyed Peas singing the national anthem that brings us closer together as a country. And then the powers that be see that and then have much counteraction. But no, Candace Owens does not believe what she says. She literally, I really think that she's trying to make, she wants to have the public perception that Alex Jones did. The only trouble with that is, with a few exceptions, look it up, man. Look up Alex Jones was right. He's been right about all but one or two things, maybe a handful, but the guy's been on the air for decades. And I know people can say, broken clocks and whatnot, but still, a lot of his most controversial takes especially have been correct. Not the most ones, but most of them. And whether or not they were paid actors, which I don't believe that they were, they certainly were after. Starting with David Hogg and that one bald-headed lesbian who said that she always bullied the would-be shooter. And somehow that was okay because she was gay and bald. I don't understand it. I am happy that she fell from obscurity. Honestly, I think she would have been a lot more dangerous than David Hogg, who's just retarded. So he checks
Maybe
at least
that's
that
not
box.
correct. Let's walk through the evidence. They believe 100% that you are paid for, usually by Israel, to say that. So let me ask you this. When I say something bad is going to happen, what would you do if you genuinely 100% believed that a man was assassinated by his wife, organization, or the administration, or a foreign government, and that all of the people telling you otherwise want to send your children to die, want to shed your children's blood for Israel? There are many, many thousands of people who believe that. Just like the left believes that you're a Nazi and a fascist and a rape supporter. I have never seen this. And I can tell you that I have sat across from enough people. You know, I do have that luxury, a privilege of having done Change My Mind and having done cable news for a long time. I've sat across from enough people where I've seen people who maybe haven't thought of this, and I'm maybe informing them or enlightening them with some new information, and we can have a conversation. And I also am able to identify the difference between them and people who hate me but kind of want to get one over on me, make a point that maybe I haven't thought of, score some points, but still kind of accept those terms. And I've also sat across from people who have either told me, or I'm very intensely aware, not only wouldn't care if I lived or died, but would gladly pull the trigger if they can get away from it. And I see that same mindset, I see that same behavior posture way more than I'm comfortable with. And no, this is not me saying that people need to be silenced and you can't express opinions. I am just saying that once upon a time, mocking specifically the pain of a widow who just lost her husband was something that would be considered impermissible within the bounds of decency and required a serious amount of proof to justify. That doesn't seem to be a part of the equation with a certain contingency right now.
The Candace Owens crap.
And so you can mark this, unless something changes, something bad is going to happen. And I've been saying that this last week, and I pray to God that I'm wrong. I genuinely do. I'm just sounding the alarm because I have a platform, and hopefully some of you guys will listen. Hopefully you can talk with these people who are in your life and maybe talk them away from the ledge a little bit, try and reason. But I think that you may not be acting in some of these cases. People who believe all of that wholesale, not people who have questions, not people who have opinions, people who believe wholesale that Group A, usually Erica Kirk, TPUSA, the Trump administration, have sacrificed, murdered Charlie Kirk, and anyone who tries to tell you that that may not be the case and wait for evidence is in fact a psyop who wants your children to die for Israel. People who believe that and can be told
they were going to say Israel was involved.
Nothing to the contrary. Be very careful. Be very careful, because that can be a dangerous person. And we see it to whatever degree. Right now, we have this video. I don't know if we're allowed to run this on YouTube. This is breaking as we go live.
We're going to find out.
Jewish neighborhood, I guess it's Golders Green in London. The images you're about to see are disturbing. I have no information on the attacker. Willing to bet he probably believed that all Jewish people are evil. There's a cabal of pedophile rape apologists. Probably believed quite a bit of this. I don't know the facts, but I'd be willing to bet that he's believed quite a few pieces of propaganda out there, because he deliberately sought out, chased down, and stabbed Jewish people with no other motivation as far as we know at this point. Here's a video. Something bad is going to happen.
And since we don't see the actual stabbings, I think this will be all right, at least as far as playing it here. But yeah, and stuff like this is becoming more common. Just stabbing the shit out of guys. And I will say, I am happy to see this police action in Britain, of all places, because most of the time, Britain will just sit there and be like, oh, golly, what we gonna do? We don't have anything on us. Yeah, kick the shit out of him. Fuck this guy.
Glad to see those UK beat cops grow a spine, at least.
Bin Roma, kill him.
Something bad is going to happen. Something bad has happened. I think more will happen. And to be clear, this is the attack that I thought you were pro-free speech. I am. The solution to bad speech is more speech. Absolutely.
Yes.
When there is some argument to be had in good faith, you cannot respond to bad speech or inaccurate speech with better or accurate speech if you know the inevitable comeback is, you're paid to say that. Every single one of you who has an opinion, regardless as to the degree of informedness, must be a paid psyop, and everyone else, don't believe any word they say for a second. Well, guess what? That's poisoning the well, and good speech can no longer be an antidote to bad speech. So I'm not saying that no one should be able to speak, everyone should, but really be aware and mark the people who use that tactic. Anyone who says, folks who disagree with me are paid by X, or they are only saying it because of Y, that's a dangerous person. That's not a person who wants to have a conversation in good faith, and it's probably not one you should trust as a source of information. Oh, you're still here watching this.
And before we get into this, we're at just about a fever pitch when it comes to. Have you seen Nux talking about the maggers? He needed to go through in order to go pray in a synagogue in Italy. I think so. I don't know. I watch pretty much most of what Nux puts out on YouTube. I don't get to catch his streams mostly because he streams really, really early. And beyond that, he streams either really early or when I'm streaming. So if it's not on YouTube, I don't get to watch it, unfortunately. But I do watch pretty much everything that he puts out. So yeah, probably Europe is as Nux would say, Europe has fallen completely. It's absolutely insane, and they've elected people who said that they were going to not support all of this immigration and at least put a cap on it. And they've done the exact opposite. They've pretty much done, like, what was it, the Virginia governor who ran as a moderate and then came in and went full commie? Like, it's crazy. So anyway, this is Blood of the Dawnwalker. And I'm pretty sure, hold on. Is it true that the devs of Blood of the Dawnwalker
I want you to watch. What did you do to me? Where are they? Where are my family?
Yeah, so the main, I guess, the showrunner equivalent.
It's in 30 days.
I guess the showrunner equivalent worked on The Witcher 3, and he's said openly that he couldn't have done this at CD Projekt Red, as far as what CD Projekt Red turned into towards the end of his tenure and since. But yeah, I'm hoping that's a good thing. I'm hoping that he brings a lot of the things that made The Witcher 3 fantastic over to this, and I hope it's better. I really, really do, because each of the Witcher games becomes harder to play once the next one comes out. I do want to go back through and play through The Witcher, because it's been a long time. I can't even remember any of it because I was pretty fucked up when I played through it originally. And I don't think I ever played through any of the DLC, which I hear is pretty much the length of its own game in itself. But yeah, I have really high hopes for this, and I will be streaming this one 100% for sure. It'll be Peter going through the whole deal, guys.
Days.
So Princess wants to be a prince now, and mark the occasion with
sexy.
my family's blood.
Princess will rip you to shreds.
So this looks like a much cooler version
There
of
might
that
be
vampire
another
game,
way.
which I also really, really like.
If you are to stand a chance, you need to prepare. You need to take risks.
And
find
I'm here for
allies.
it.
I have no love for Princess's regime. He is a vile
That lady
monster.
was horny.
Some have already taken up arms, haven't they?
A Vrakir joining the rebellion? Are you serious? What on earth are you?
That Asian fella's accent was
It's as
horrible.
if the Vrakir in you is dormant during the day and awakens with nightfall.
You're not the only one wanting to see Brent's turn to
Trim
ash.
your nails.
We're in for a rough time. Follow me and do your best to survive.
It's easy.
She was clearly based off of. It was either, the lady. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. The tough lady from movies like Pitch Black and that show. That Australian sci-fi show, or New Zealand, whatever. Was it Claudia Black is her name, or that chick that gets naked and all the things. She was in that X-Men knockoff movie, and she was in the sequel to Sin City and 300. I can't remember her name either. But if she's based off those two, that could be a pretty cool character as long as the acting's on point.
Easy to go a step too far.
The
Go
femme
down a
fatale.
path you can't turn back from.
Well, somewhere between femme fatale and actual badass chick.
I think it's high time you tell me what the hell is going on.
In the end,
He's gonna be a secret vampire, that Asian guy.
As I see it, we're both far beyond redemption.
Doesn't mean we should kill people on a whim.
I'm just trying to save my family.
Okay, pause for the cause. Oh my god. Okay, so he's gonna be a Dom Peel or something like you are. He's gonna be what you are, basically, is what I'm seeing here.
Good. Bad. Fairy tales. People tell themselves to preserve their sanity.
Oh yeah. Dude. I'm so excited. Like this is gonna be my Halloween time frame game. I hope upon hopes that this game does well, that it's very good as I think it's gonna be. I hope it's as in depth and as lengthy as The Witcher 3. And I really hope it does well enough to get a DLC. Like I said, I think the DLC for The Witcher 3, I'm pretty sure it's about as long as the game itself. So I hope we get something like that this could... I'm so excited. Okay. Like I said, I really love the vampire game. I say that because it's spelled with a Y. And it reminds me of that weirdo from the Buffy show. But yeah, no, this is gonna be the big game that I'm just craving for the entire year. Oh my god, this is bringing out like teenage, early 20s, like dark gothic version of Alfie here. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. Oh, I'm getting that shit.
Dire warnings
I
of the
am getting that
scientists who
shit.
found yet more confirmatory information that this is a very real threat within the next 25 years.
Within the next 25 years.
Happens in the Gulf Stream.
And what does that ultimately lead?
And you keep saying, and he's going to go through this probably. I haven't got to see as much of this as I thought, but I saw a little bit of it. I was like, oh, I want to watch that live with the peoples. Pretty much everything that Gore said was going to happen didn't happen. Me personally, my thoughts on climate change, I think it's real. I think it's mostly natural. I think the Earth, if we got too far out of control, would be like, ugh, and it would like fart and shoot us into space. Not literally, okay? But I really think that the Earth will be fine. There's nothing besides nuclear holocaust that we as humans can do, at least as far as what we have right now, that will destroy the Earth in a way that it can't correct. It's more worrying about humanity and the balance that keeps us and sustains us. And I think there needs to be a serious conversation between wacko climate activists and wacko climate deniers that doesn't involve just stop doing all the things that allow us to live our lives as we do. Because most of the people who say these things fully rely on living the way that we do. If we did not, these people think that if we get in a communist society, they'll just be able to draw stupid little pictures for a living or explore their creativity when they really have none. They're a bunch of fucking soft, bitch-made rich kids who have never had to really struggle or thought that just because someone told them no once, like all those pig-headed brutes that they so hate from the time when jocks reigned supreme, that they've basically become what they hate. Let's continue.
To Greta Thunberg lobbying whoever. You remember An Inconvenient Truth? Now, this is no small thing because often people move on, and people move on faster. I was just thinking about this the other day. Could you imagine if you went back to even just the 1980s and told them, hey, in the future, we're going to have a president who has 4 attempted assassinations on him? They're like, what? You'd be like, and at the last one, like the news covered it for about 12 hours. You're like, what? No, they tried to kill the president and they moved on. Like, no. That's how it goes in the future. So people move on so quickly. An Inconvenient Truth, you guys let me know. It was curriculum. I had to watch it in school. Did you?
I did not personally, no.
Okay. I did. Now, it could just be because Canada's a silly place.
It is.
And Al Gore has been making
Camelot,
climate change backed in global warming predictions for 20 years with unbelievable certainty. But he's pretty much always proven wrong. And I highly recommend you go watch. We did a whole show on this, debunking 50 years of failed climate expert predictions. People say, you're not a scientist. Well, I'm not. That's why we cited scientists, and we've had scientists on as guests. But now Al Gore is back. And remember I told you the left has no shame? Okay, well, this is Exhibit 142Z. He claimed that we're now going to look like the movie The Day After Tomorrow, but he said the day after because he can't get his film straight.
Well, I think we'll be like The Day After Tomorrow.
What are you thinking? Ice Age. Whoa.
That movie that I mentioned the day after about the Gulf Stream shutting down, well, this morning in one of the English newspapers is a whole big article summarizing the recent dire warnings of the scientists who found yet more confirmatory information that this is a very real threat within the next 25 years.
If that happens and the Gulf Stream ceases to exist as we know it, we're in an ice age in like 10 years.
No, it would take long. I'm not.
Just go with me. Go with me. I wear makeup, Al.
Version, but I've spent a lot of time with it. But it would be bad. It would be very bad.
Now, keep in mind, a UK high court in the UK ruled that there were 9 significant errors in An Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah.
And those are the ones in a court of law, but there are more errors and more mispredictions, to be clear. So, again, you just have the track record of his predictions. I was raised with this, and you need to know this is the reason. It was the basis for a lot of policy, as well as I think it was Melissa Etheridge's comeback. Was she the one who did Inconvenient Truth, or was it the other lesbian?
I don't know which.
Anyways, you guys fact check. I don't remember if it was her, if it was Sarah McLachlan. I thought it was the "Come to my window." Bitch. So, public perception has shifted on climate change. When people say no progress is made, it has. Not as far as climate change being a thing, as far as it's catastrophic and we believe that the UN can do anything about it. Before I get to the predictions, I'm going to play pause and show you that they were all incorrect, verifiably. Here, before we get to the debate course thing, I will tell you this. I've walked people through climate change quite a few times, and I've actually never gotten a response to indicate that my position is unreasonable. So do this every time they try and label you a climate denier. They go, climate change denier. You go, well, hold on a second. I'm actually not a climate change denier. Can we just sort of establish where we line up here? I want to ask you if you accept the premise, and I'll let you know if I do, and then we can find where we maybe, we have differing opinions. This statement, do you believe it's true that the climate is changing or that the Earth is generally warming? They'll say yes. You say, okay, yeah, me too, in general. Do you believe that human beings are the primary or a contributor to that? They'll say, yeah. I say, well, I don't necessarily know that we're the primary contributor, but I'll even go with we are a contributor to it, okay? Do you believe that climate change will have catastrophic, cataclysmic results? they'll say yes. And say, okay, it could. I don't know, but I'll go with you for the sake of argument. Let's assume the Earth is warming, the climate is changing, human beings are the primary contributor, and it will have catastrophic results. Do you believe that the UN or any form of international agreement or policy that has to this point been proposed, do you believe that it would do anything to affect a 0.3 degree temperature rise over the next 100 years? When you take into account China and India and their consumption and carbon emissions. And they'll likely say yes. You say, okay, that's where I don't think so. That's where I disagree. So it's not climate denier, it's climate change policy skeptic. Does that make sense? Every single person will say, in my experience, yes, or they're dyed-in-the-wool leftists, they're dogmatic, or they go, no, and they believe Greta Thunberg, whatever the hell it is. But walk them through that. So let's go through, actually right now, the history of Al Gore being wrong. Now we find ourselves at new ice age. And I know some of you are confused because when they were saying global warming back, we would go, hey, remember there was a prediction of the ice age in the 70s? There was a documentary from Leonard Nimoy. They go, oh, science is more advanced. Now they're going back to ice age. So who knew? Here we go. Some of his claims, and I'll play
I would like them
pause
to be
and give you
rebranded
the
as
real
nice agents. Oh,
In
crap.
all of
I'm missing comments before we go into this. I learned recently that wine production has a pretty big problem because climate change, the places where it's optional for grape to grow have shifted over the years. I mean, maybe. I haven't seen that, and I know, like I said, there's even a winery where I'm from originally. I'd have to look into that further, but again, most places can shift or whatever. I don't know enough about winemaking or anything like that to comment, but like I said, I mean, even so, most people usually reference when it comes to climate change the amount of hurricanes we're getting, or it's getting worse, or whatever, when in fact hurricanes, I think, have gone down in the last couple of years. And we've always had really bad hurricanes, and same with tornadoes. People are saying tornadoes are popping up in weird places. And tornadoes can literally happen pretty much anywhere. I don't think they can happen in the Arctic, but anywhere where temperature can shift or where warm air meets cool air. So, you know, if there's even a cold pocket, I mean, even tornadoes as small as dust devils occurred quite frequently where I'm from again. So, especially when it comes to weather phenomenon, it's really hard to say because they keep changing everything. They keep saying that it's global warming. Oh no, it's actually global cooling, and then they start calling it climate change. And I'm just like, and then they'll say within 20-25 years. And if you're someone who's been, you know, hearing these things for about 20-25 years, and you look around, and pretty much the only thing that's changed is the people being rabid around politics becoming more mainstream. You know, like, again, I don't deny climate change. I just don't really care. Because, again, we're talking about the forward progress of humanity most often. The Earth will be fine. Unless, again, we do, like, crazy nuclear holocaust, start dropping nuclear bombs on ourselves, each other, whatever. The Earth will be fine. The Earth will correct the human experiment if we go too far. We should do things to keep that from happening, but we should not drastically alter our entire infrastructure in a day. We should have some kind of communication and do it slowly over time so that we don't destroy humanity and our way of life. You know, like weaning off of a drug or something. But it should be something that is more thought of than we need to take action now or, let's just let it ride.
This time, 650,000 years, The CO2 level has never gone above 300 parts per million. When there is more carbon dioxide.
Historically, CO2 levels have been up to 18 times higher. And I know you're going to say I'm not a scientist, so check the references. We provide them every single day when we live stream 11 a.m. Eastern, a bibliography. 18 times higher, life thrived. Typically, in many cases, CO2 can actually follow temperature increases, not the other way around.
Yep.
Play.
Oxide, the temperature gets warmer. Within the decade, there will be no more snows of Kilimanjaro. Within 15...
Kilimanjaro still has snow? 2018 record snowfall, actually. Record snowfall.
That was 2 years after his 10-year
Yes.
deadline. Okay.
Yeah. And now we're basically 10 years after his 10-year deadline. I think, I don't remember how many years he said. Next one.
years, this will be the park formerly known as Glacier.
Pause.
We have...
No, Glacier National Park is still there. We still have the glaciers intact. And in 2020, the park actually had to remove signs that predicted its demise. So it is not. You're not a scientist. Okay, take it up with CNN and NBC and then citing scientists. Let's keep playing.
I've seen in the last couple of years a lot of big hurricanes. And the same year that we had that string of big hurricanes, we also set an all-time record for tornadoes in the United States.
Pause. So since 2005, hurricane frequency has declined. By the way, I'm citing NOAA.
Overall.
And other scientific publications.
Noah, the sailor from the Bible?
No, but he was also a drunk.
Noah,
from
the
what I
sailor
understand.
man.
2024, the NOAA National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration stated that it is premature to conclude with high confidence that human-caused increases in greenhouse gases have caused a change in past Atlantic Basin hurricane activity that is outside the range of natural variability. Also, tornado frequency, which he tries to imply there, but doesn't flat out say, you've seen a lot of them lately. They've declined in frequency and strength. 2014, 2018, record low. Record low years for number of tornadoes. Let's keep playing.
Scientific study shows that for the first time they're finding polar bears that have actually drowned.
See the proof here.
I drank too much Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
you see the proof.
And the change.
You gotta love
since
that early
1950, the estimated
2000
population of polar bears
CGI.
has quadrupled, because he's also gone on, other articles saying that they were declining, they were endangered. Not true. There are more than ever, arguably. Some people say because of record keeping, but there's certainly more than since Al Gore started making his films. And this is also, by the way, just to be clear, his polar bears drowning is based on one study where there were 4 polar bears found floating after a storm. If you also understand how polar bears swim and how buoyant they are, you would know that this is bullcrap. But the most important point, more polar bears than ever. Let's keep going.
I just gotta say, why aren't there any brilliant polar bears? There's plenty of buoyant ones. I'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
From conditions like we have here today
It's so stupid, I'm sorry.
to an ice age took place in perhaps as little as 10 years' time. Now, of course, that's not going to happen again because the glaciers of North America are not there. And is there any other big chunk of ice anywhere near there? Oh, yeah. Because of what's happening in Greenland right now, the maps of the world will have to be redrawn. This is what would happen to the sea level in Florida.
So about the ocean conveyor that, goes down. Yeah, okay, pause. We're going to go through this point by point because it's also silly with dramatic guitar. Sea levels rose about 3.8 inches from 93 to 2021. It would take 1,100 years to rise 20 feet at this number that we're seeing right now, assuming that it continues. And he talks about the ocean conveyor. The IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, determined that it's unlikely that the ocean conveyor will shut down suddenly before the year 2100. So he wanted you to believe this would happen imminently, and he would combine all these claims, but none of it is true. Let's keep playing.
This is what would happen to San Francisco Bay.
Oh, no.
A lot of people live in these areas.
All that AIDS funding down the drain.
Oh my God, it looks
One
like
of the
AIDS
low
spreading in it.
countries.
I'm so sorry.
Where all the rich people
Absolutely
live.
devastating.
Oh no, all those
The area
poor
around
stoners.
Beijing that's home to tens of millions of people.
Oh no.
Goodbye.
Even worse, in
Not to
the area around
Beijing.
Shanghai, there are 40
Oh Lord, they've been
million
shanghaied by
Shang-Lo.
water.
people. Worse still, Calcutta and to the east, Bangladesh.
Take 1,100 years
Coral
at the rate
reefs
we're going.
all over
Cal
the
cut
world
it off into the
because
ocean.
of global warming and other factors are bleaching, and they end up like this.
Pause. Actually, since 2024, the coral at the Great Barrier Reef. That was the one that we were largely warned about. It's actually at its...
I don't know about weather. I study food science, so I can... coffee. Yeah, and oh god, there was something about... Oh, there was something... Wasn't there something that happened in South America that made there be a coffee shortage, and it had to do with more... I think someone lit the coffee fields on fire more than any climate catastrophe. Shit, it happened around the same time as... It happened around the same time as Trump invaded Venezuela. But yeah, no, and like I said, I don't deny, I'm not a climate denier by any means. Again, I just don't care. I do think that the climate changes, some naturally and some due to our, efforts, I guess you'd say. But I just don't care. We should find some kind of compromise, and we should be better to the earth because it's so good to us for the most part. But that just might be the old school liberal hippie in me.
Most significant amount in 38 years. What? It's recovered from every single major drop, 98, 2002, 2016, 2017, 2020. And then as far as bleaching, he uses that to scare you. It's actually just something that happens quite a bit when you look at coral taking on algae.
Lord, I was down here in the same area, and it was much more brightly colored. It's so beautiful, just like the beaches in Havana. I've been there before. That means all of Cuba's a wonderful place, because all the resorts that I frequent are good places.
And they might be temperature driven in some instances, but it can't be isolated to just climate change. There are plenty of scientific papers to say this. So he's been wrong about every primary prediction that he has made, yet he has no shame, and he's still back now telling you ice age. And what does that ultimately lead to? Greta Thunberg lobbying whoever and some international intergovernment panel telling you that you can use 1 square of toilet paper.
Yeah,
Look,
I heard about cacao having
things
shortage because farmers wanted higher pay
Wouldn't you
too.
need
I heard about
to be
that too, but there
right
was some
on
kind
one
of
them?
sorry, there was some kind of that's gonna drive me crazy. There was something that happened in South America at the beginning of this year, end of last year, that also had to do with coffee prices shooting up. Of course, it doesn't help that we pretty much only get coffee from 2, maybe 3 places: Colombia, Hawaii, and I don't remember the other one.
That's all. That's not a lot to ask, is it? Just be right on a couple.
Well, especially if you're going to call it a truth.
Right. An inconvenient truth. Do you think he sought out a lesbian? Like, oh, what I really want a lesbian to sing this.
I really want it. I want her to. She won't come to my window, but then again, neither does my wife, unless Melissa Etheridge is outside singing.
Just like women.
Then my Swedish masseuse can be a live-in.
It's not just Al Gore. I think my favorite thought to come out recently is AOC supporting all of this and then buying her mom a home in Florida.
I know. I know.
Yeah, believe it. Drown, you old bitch.
But you, has your opinion changed on this? Because public opinion has shifted quite a bit as far as at least climate change being an imminent priority. It seems that they are more concerned with other issues facing Americans right now, and it seems like this is kind of up the scam, hopefully. But keep doing your work and keep talking with people. Keep trying to convince people. Keep implementing the Socratic method, because for a long time you were just made to be a pariah. Well, you just must deny science, and they banked on you not being a scientist. They would tell you that you're not allowed to have an opinion. You know who else is not a scientist? Al Gore. Maybe that's why he's wrong.
Yeah, he's not a scientist. He was once vice president and lost to George Bush.
Look at the matter of record. But here's the thing: Al Gore has made quite a few other predictions.
The W one.
That didn't come true. Yeah. Not all related to climate change. He is 0 for 400. That brings us to today's 7+1.
You forgot the one in the chamber.
That's right. It's
you
7+1.
In the chamber.
Al Gore's other wrong predictions.
Oh,
and
God. Are these going to be real, or are these going to be...
If you are not yet a Rumble Premium member,
stupid.
Rumble Premium is Mug Club. Mug Club is Rumble Premium. That's what keeps the lights on. You can click that button below.
You never know with these. Sometimes these are real, and sometimes...
It's an additional
Greta
100% show. It's almost twice
pretty
the show.
much
You get the Friday show, everything ad-free. It's It's your best one-stop shop for actual content that is devoid
Yeah.
of censorship.
Well, and she also showed that she's also a grifter. She's an autistic grifter who was slung into the spotlight by her parents, who basically do like most people do with child actors. They throw their kids to the wolves. The only difference is hopefully the wolves that they threw Greta Thunberg to won't do to her what got done to people like poor Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, and pretty much any kid that grows up in Hollywood. But yeah, anyway. Sorry.
Plus one, other predictions from Al Gore that were wrong. You know what?
Sorry. But yeah, and then she made Israel. How dare you? How Israel? She made it her biggest opportunity grab. I mean, her main objective. And then she also stood up for Cuba. I feel bad for her, or at least I would if she wasn't funded by millionaires and billionaires, and they keep giving her new boats every time they get seized by Israel and such.
Number 7, Josh Firestein. We have to do them like Al Gore.
Women's liberation in Afghanistan.
Well, that seems like that's a sure bet.
Those are pretty ladies.
Oh, another prediction.
I like
for
ladies.
you. Oh, yes.
Yeah. I
Don't
mean, I
question
just shave their unibrows and
Number
make them wear a
6,
mask like
meet
it was
the
COVID.
smart device of the future. Everyone behold the Zune.
Okay, so these are fake.
Number 5.
You remember the Zune kids?
Captain
I
Morgan.
remember a bunch of my friends thought it was the best thing.
Well, that's not. Look, if
Oh
you can
my
harness
God.
the power, if you can harness the power. Number 4.
Who wants to
7
be
plus
my
1
llama
Al Gore
mama?
Predictions that were wrong.
Is that you?
Number 4, Matthew Lillard will become the biggest name in Hollywood.
Oh my goodness, I love him.
Boing.
Could you imagine him saying,
Jinkies, Scooby.
we have a Hulk.
I guess I'll have to take this next one because we didn't want to do it before Rumble Preem.
Why is that?
Number 3, prediction from Al Gore, people. Meet the future's most renewable form of entertainment. Down syndrome ostriches.
I never in my life have I needed something so much and never known until I received it.
Staring into my soul.
You know what? You know what? Some people are going to say this is mean.
Hold on, I need to hear him say it again. I
Renewable
need to
form
hear
of
him say it again.
entertainment. Down syndrome ostriches.
Oh, there's no time like the first time, but the second one's nice too.
You know what? Some people are going to say this is mean, but I would prefer this ostrich.
Yeah.
Way more friendly, lots of hugs, less
I mean,
dangerous.
Ostriches already have those soulless dinosaur eyes. Put a little downs in it. He seems friendly.
At least he's working.
Yeah, just make sure he's squinting like he's looking into the sun.
In this economy.
You know what? Number 2, Josh. Then
Do we have any autistic emos, perhaps?
I'll hit number 1.
Number 2, whales will overtake man as apex predator.
It's inevitable. And number 1.
They won't be
They
blue
will also
anymore.
forever subjugate their newest slaves, the near extinct polar bears.
Oh my God.
Bookmark it.
That's a humpback.
And the plus 1 for more predictions of similar value. Just ask Jeeves. This has been 7 plus 1.
I'll remember Jeeves.
You forgot the one in the chamber.
You forgot the one in the chamber.
Glenn created vitamins A. So you actually said this yesterday, and it was insightful. Like, people used to use Ask Jeeves the way we now talk with AI.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just ask a question. It
Yeah.
actually works, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is you would ask Jeeves, and it wouldn't give you an answer. It would just
Yeah, I'd be like, did you
take a while. It would take longer than Google or Bing. Remember
But it was
Bing?
fun.
I do remember Bing.
Yeah.
It was fun to do. Like with Ask, you was like, whoa.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeeves, where do babies come from?
Yeah, exactly.
And then AI today will just show you porn.
Yes, exactly. Like, here you
And
go.
also be right. That is
Talk
where
amongst
babies come
yourselves.
from,
I remember we had to pick a planet. We were in the computer. Did you guys have a science, a computer lab? We had a computer lab. And we had to do a project because they were teaching us how to use the internet. We used Netscape Navigator web crawler.
I remember that.
And a little bent back paper clip would come on and tell me I didn't know how to spell stuff. He was an arrogant bastard. And,
we had typing class. I don't know if you had typing class.
You had to
Gerald
put a
had
manila folder over her hand so we couldn't see.
Gerald had typewriter class, but
He did, yeah.
it's the same concept.
And Apple computers.
It was mostly for the girls, but Gerald thought he would, learn some skills.
Well, I picked Venus, and I remember being in the computer lab. I don't know why the other ones were taken. And
sure.
All I know to this day is that for some reason there was obviously a site that had the name Venus in it that was a hardcore pornography site. Because I remember being there, typing in something, and then it just and I should have seen once like 30% of it loaded. And my teacher walked up right behind me, and then just as it, and I was like, she's like, oh my God. I'm like, no, it's Venus. Look, it's Venus in the URL.
Whoa, whoops. I had similar happen. I got kicked out of my computer class because we were doing like a study on countries, and I got stuck with Brazil. Not that I'm opposed.
Oh, well, yeah, that's going to take you.
Immediately.
Of course. Of course.
Show me Brazil.
That's all it's going to be.
Kicked out.
You know what's funny is when you look at it, actually, Brazil, when they list the countries with like most amount of sexual partners, they're much lower on the list, much higher. Right. The highest is Australia. Places like I think like the Netherlands and stuff are pretty high.
Considering they invented
so they're a
pussy
hypersexualized
wax,
culture.
or
Like
at
you look at
least
Carnival, where it's just thongs and boas. But they're also like, but I don't want you to think I'm a sludge.
Put on a sludge.
I will show, but I won't tell.
You mentioned Brazil in the same sentence with countries that are like more developed.
Yeah, yeah.
You probably get better numbers from like Australia or like the Netherlands or whatever you said, but I think there's a lot of non-reporting going on in Brazil.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, out in the Amazon.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, but I don't know if they're smashing out in the Amazon.
Yeah,
I think you kind of take what you can get.
I will never tell you. It's time to party.
How did you find love? Well, I was asleep in my hammock, and he closed it on me so I can't move. And then he put baby inside me.
Oh, my. Wow, okay. What are we still talking about?
Where they fear anacondas.
Right down the road. Somebody kills a freaking goose in a park, and we're all...
That's in your life.
Brazil, but in a lot of these Asian countries, they have to live by the waterway.
Yeah.
And they have to avoid pissing off the piranhas. Imagine that. That's your daily life.
Pissing on the piranhas.
It's like, my gosh, I got a
they
stain
stream
in my
right
jeans.
up
I hope the
they
piranhas
swim
are
right
on a
up the
migratory
stream,
pattern
so to
today.
speak.
Still take the piranhas over the Kandiru. The one that swims up your pee hole.
Or like those Indians who like the river is like everything. It's laundry, it's drinking water, it's bath water, it's where you poop, and then there's crocodiles and snakes.
Yeah.
What is it like a few of the top deadliest snakes live in India?
Yeah, so they call them the Big Four. I think there's
the Big Four.
There's the common.
Hold on.
Great, that is most common.
We have.
Are we just making?
Nice.
They do blame them all the time.
We're going in front of other Indians.
Oh, sorry, I didn't finish
You are
this.
from I don't know, insert whatever here. You are from Mozambique.
Is the rest of this just us making fun of random people from across the world?
Of course.
In the sky.
There they are. Yeah. Insane. They were
I'm
Okay, yeah. So the rest of this is just us making fun of. So we're gonna move on to Hasan Diddy Piker. I apologize.
And beliefs, then absolutely melting down.
I watched the first half of that, and I did the thing where I accidentally clicked on the next video at the ad, and I was just like, oh, this is interesting too. Whoops.
Down over being lightly roasted for being a loser.
Bro, you were on the last Shoe On Head video. I will literally with a gun if you bring that in here, okay?
As yesterday, Shoe On Head's new
I will shoot myself with a gun if you give me any kind of pushback.
And fatherhood briefly bashed Hasan Diddy.
To make things worse, a grown-ass man saw another grown-ass man speaking about the normal human desire to want a family and want children one day, and called him an incel. Cockroach behavior.
Together as a little family, even streamers who say at the start they didn't want kids end up breaking down happy in tears. So What's really interesting about this is all of these unfuckable losers.
Hey,
in the
thanks for
gaming
the
sphere
follow,
Always talk about like starting families and
subscriber.
stuff. And I don't understand like why this has become a thing that they care about. Like, if you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about things that you actually enjoy, right? If you're a lonely gamer who has never been around a woman and will never have sex with a woman, why do you care?
And I've never played on.
I love how he streams games and plays games, but this is one of the reasons why I hate when things become mainstream, because fucking asshole losers like Hasan Piker will start to just pick on the entire community to which he technically belongs.
On the Boston Celtics are kind of Pokemon, but I buy the same stupid game every year.
It's not
to
even fun
pretend I
ribbing.
do, because that's the whole point in playing.
Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, it's just not something that you're gonna experience ever for your life, for the rest of your life, right?
First of all, the only care about something if it affects you is extremely libertarian coded and also very weird coming from a guy who understandably wants everybody to care about a genocide that is happening across the ocean. Second of all, what is this nihilistic horse? You never aspire for anything, never aim for greatness and meaning. This is the dude the media wants us to believe is going to save young men from the alt-right pipeline. Yeah, okay. And I love how he's like, unfuckable losers. Like, okay, congrats on the sex, bro. Check out this sex haver over here. I'm sure all those unfuckable losers could easily go to foreign brothels and pay for sex like you, Hasan. Something weird about a man who could easily consensually get sex from a woman but chooses
Fast.
Also, 35? No kids? Like, I'm sorry, that just pisses me off. Like, sitting in his ugly ass $600 Gucci sweater. I swear I've never seen this guy.
And this is absolutely true.
In a
Like, hold on.
Gucci sweater.
Like, look at this. This is what he wore to Cuba, a place where this is like what their yearly income. His whole outfit was their yearly income, and he wore a $1,300 fucking glasses, a $700 shirt. What's this? What's that? $1,500 ring. At best, a $250 watch. Not that I'm going to talk on that one. And the prescription lenses on these glasses, another $600. So $2,000 fucking glasses.
I swear I've never seen this guy.
Hold on.
$600.
And however much these pants are, these Kith pants. Like, the guy's wearing 10 grand on his person, walking around a place where they don't earn that in a fucking year. He's a communist with a Gucci bag, is what I'm saying.
Gucci sweater. I swear I've never seen this guy in a fucking normal ass t-shirt. Sitting on his high horse, looking down at people for wanting something more out of life. I don't understand how someone could be so mentally mind-raped that this is their reaction to such like a simple, wholesome concept.
And all things considered, this is really just a light roast that shouldn't have prompted a response at all, as Shu did bravely bring up this other streamer also being against having kids.
I'm probably never having kids. I'm probably gonna play video games for the rest of my life. I'm probably gonna be as hot for as long as I can. And I'm probably gonna keep making money. That's probably what's gonna happen for the next 40 years until people are just gonna keep being mad at me about it. Menopause is gonna hit me like a brick wall, but at least I will be getting the bag until then. You don't want kids? I'll do it whenever I want. I don't think I'm running out of time.
Absolute delusion.
And honestly, I don't know the difference between Pokimane and Valkyrie, which one of them is rumored to be with Hasan, and I really couldn't care less.
Yeah,
but it might
I mean,
just
because let's be honest. Can anyone really tell? No, not really. If you put them, even if you put them next to each other, or just listen to them on a recording, you wouldn't be able to tell the fucking difference.
explain why Hasan basically melted down over Shu's video.
Bro, you were on the last Shoe on Head video. I will literally off with a gun if you bring that up in here, okay? Why? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go out, purchase a shotgun myself in the face, not die in the process, but at least lose significant chunks of my brain so I can operate at the same substandard, suboptimal IQ level that Shoe on Head and her dumb audience operates in, so I can do a regular response to that? Is that what you want me to do?
Nothing says I think she's stupid and irrelevant than going into a tism-type tirade for multiple minutes about how little you care about her opinion that's definitely not ruining your day. I can't count how many times he and his orbiters have blasted statements I've made, but the thing about actually believing your enemies or idiots is you're not affected by idiot opinions.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
So if anything, this is just evidence that Hasan knows he's on the losing side.
The compelling argument the shoe-on head makes, one that should have been left in the dustbin of history all the way back in 2016. Ooh, look at me. I'm an emo girl, and I change my politics all the time. Ooh.
Do you have anything to say about what she said, bruh? No, because you don't do that. You don't do that because you really have no argument. No, Yanuka. I appreciate all the engagement, bub. We'll see you next time. Hopefully tomorrow.
Look at me. As an emo girl, I look like that one meme on the internet.
So Shu says you got a creepy history with buying overseas, but Hasan's best clapback is, remember she used to look like a meme, and then maturing in motherhood made her see the world beyond or naive Bernie Sanders can save the Democrat Party beliefs? Hasan just looks like every emotional woman losing an argument, as actually that sums up every single Hasan stream perfectly. Emotional lady losing argument.
Why would you openly admit that you listen to Shoe-On Head in 2026, man? What the f is wrong with you? People like Shoe-On Head are basically a humanoid version of a Reddit aggregator. They just spit out shit that they see on subreddits. So why the f are you going there? You might as well just go to the subreddit directly and read all the commentary that they turn into video essays. Jesus Christ. What an unbearable fucking way to exist, dude. Oh, I'm getting all my politics from Shoe-On Head. Honestly, good luck, dude.
First of all, I don't know anyone who gets all their politics from Shoe-On Head. I know people who enjoy her content because she's funny, quirky, charming, and she pretty much knows her shit, man. She's grows. She doesn't flip-flop. She's grown over the years, and honestly, she hasn't changed all that much. I mean, tell me you don't really know anything about what you're talking about without telling me.
Which is just pure projection at its finest. Why watch Shu when you can just read Reddit? When it's really, why watch Hasan when you can just read Twitter while chugging soy milk for yourself? And remember, this is just because Shu said Hasan's take on a video game was bad. But for it to hit him this hard, the whole not having kids must be really sensitive. Not just for him specifically, but to anybody still listening to Hasan nonsense. As Shu just proves that having your own family and finding happiness is the gateway away from these miserable socialist circles on the internet.
The first episode
I got
of
something
my
to show you
old
after
Hellworld
this.
series was actually all about police brutality. It was all about police brutality towards innocent protesters. I was a little more ACAB-y back then. I was a little more libbed the f out back then. But hey, to be fair to me back then, that is what happens when you live in the sheltered suburbs of Long Island in your parents' basement versus having a kid and living in the city for 4 years. The police are a taxpayer-funded HR department for structural violence. They exist solely to protect the rights of private property. Yeah, we need more police. Police are good. Police are great. Give the police more guns. More guns. Give them more guns. Tanks. Tanks, even.
As this isn't just a petty patter between liberal political commentators, it's Hasan's pathetic attempts to maintain relevance. As on one side, Hasan is losing his Twitch streaming audience to the Roach King.
Look, whoever's doing, like, if this is AI, reprogram it. I understand he doesn't really pronounce his H very harshly, very distinctly, but it's about Hasan Piker, bro. Come on. Bring back paid. Do we still do paid YouTube subtitled peoples?
And on the other, the former normal liberals are aligning more with Shoe-On Head, where Hasan is like a Minecraft streamer. His existing audience is outgrowing him, while he's getting too old to bring in that new generation of listeners. And the saddest aspect about this is
Hasan Piker. Oh wait,
everybody already sees it. Except for him. So if you appreciate my concise...
He really is like Kanye West from the Fish Sticks episode of South Park. He doesn't realize why he's a gay fish.
I'd order comment.
And real quick, I just saw this. I haven't seen the Hasan crash out about Abba and Preach. I love Abba and Preach. I disagree with them on a lot. But when they're right, my God, they're right. Wait, what's happening? So this is Abba and Preach. These guys are known to make a lot of videos about Fresh and Fit. I guess they used to collaborate a little bit, and there's been a lot. I've thought about going down the Myron Gaines rabbit hole like I have for Hasan Diddy Piker here. But
I don't think wanting to be a dad is weird. Oh my God, do you guys not have any other fucking content? Jesus Christ, get off my dick, bro. Holy shit.
Do you not have any other content, bro?
Shit. How many more years of this like reluctantly attacking Hasan and then agreeing with his fucking primary focus reluctantly 2 years after the fact are we gonna do?
No one's done that. No one except for your dipshit audience does that. And most of them, I mean, your audience captured, bro. Come on.
Over again. No, they're not. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't think it's weird to want to be a dad, man. I'm talking shit about gamers, okay? Capital G gamers. Who are like weirdo fucking white supremacist incels who are like, yeah, this game is going to repopulate the planet.
No, literally no one has said that.
Worried about, whether or not women's biological clock is ticking. You got posted in a lot of gamer subreddits. Ooh, nice. You're a pragmatic take pissed off incels. You offended the pedos and the capital G gamers and the incels. Yeah, what they're offended by, I think, primarily is...
I love how first it started with gamers and now it's just incels and...
Yeah, dude, you got me. I was actually fucking attacking every gamer on the planet. Like, man, this is low-budget bullshit. I don't even want to fucking entertain it, okay?
You're low-budget bullshit. That's what you don't understand. You're low-budget bullshit. Just because you live in a $3 million mansion... because for some reason people thought you were worth something because you used to be on the Young Turks, and I guess you've got a little baby head, and people thought it was adorbs. I guess I don't know. Who the hell knows, man? Why a lot of porn stars think you're hot? Apparently, because that's. I mean, look up pretty much anyone he's streamed with. They're a bunch of porn stars.
Again, I can't explain this to you guys enough. I got fucking government ops, okay? I got the entire propaganda apparatus of the nation state of Israel inside of my fucking asshole. I got like 55 different articles being written about me on a daily fucking basis on Fox News. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have to. I don't want to have a back and forth with Abba and fucking Preach.
That's. You did that to yourself, though, for being a retard on the internet, for having the worst possible takes that made you hated by both sides. That's why. It's got nothing to do with Israel. I love how you made it about Israel. It's got nothing to do with Israel. It's got to do with you being a hate-spewing, violence-encouraging fuckwit.
Okay? Over... what they misunderstood about my take.
They didn't misunderstand.
I guess he's backtracking to incels now.
They didn't say backtracking.
Yeah, I am, dude. You fucking caught me. I got so embarrassed that I was shitting on every gamer, every man, actually. Every man that wants to be a father, I was shitting on them, and you caught me. You're fucking brilliant. God forbid you misunderstood the original take that I was making.
I mean, maybe you misspoke, but there's really not a lot to misunderstand from what you're saying. That's what you were saying.
God forbid. That's never a perspective with any of these guys, okay? They never, no one on the internet ever does this thing where they're like, hold on, let me see what he means. No, I've already been established as a...
We know what you mean. Most of us who watch or comment to you know what you mean. It's worst possible scenario most of the time.
A fucking villain for a lot of these dudes, okay? For a lot of these dudes, and it does so well on the algorithm.
Dude, wash your fucking dirty ass cup.
Yeah, I'm a professional misunderstander of the point that he's making. God forbid you fucking agree with me, you know? You only agree with me maybe 2 years after the fact, you know?
No one agrees with you ever. No one goes back and be like, "Oh man, Hasan was so right." No one has ever done that. No one with a fully functioning brain has ever done that. What are we even talking about here? Anyway, we're going to get a little bit of
Correspondence dinner. A 31-year-old California teacher, Cole Allen, tried to assassinate Trump and failed. Now, we also got some additional information.
Some more Hasan
Apparently,
Piker.
they were a Kamala Harris supporter and a Blue Sky user, which is like lefty Twitter, I guess. But no direct evidence. It's a Hasan fan, of course. The snake slithers by again. But maybe not, because the entirety of Twitter, including actual politicians, are campaigning to get Hasan arrested. Especially after his "somebody needs to do it" clip talking about assassinating Trump and his general rhetoric supporting political violence. So he has responded with a 30-minute crash out.
Just joined. Are they actually blaming you for this one? I can't believe these people. Yeah, I'm officially Trantifa, okay? Transgender Antifa. Because in the aftermath of any like attempted shootings, school shootings and the like, they would always say, oh, it's a transgender Antifa that's responsible for this violence without any actual evidence whatsoever. And I'll take it. I'll take it for you guys on the chin. Okay, I am officially the new transgender Antifa, Transtifa. The entire right wing is inside of my ass right now. Okay, they are inside of my ass, digging it out. Let's be real. They have been using this to blame me. And it's not just the right wingers as well. It's also people like this, like Clintonites, like right wing Democrats as well.
Of course, it's the right-wing Democrats, guys.
Right-wing
You know,
Democrats.
it's the tall, short people. It's the fat, thin people that are actually after me. Don't you understand? It's the Zionist Nazis. Yeah, so basically anyone that Hasan doesn't like is right-wing, including people like Ethan and Destiny. Even if you're literally a Democrat, he will just brand you as a right-wing person to smear you. And I don't know what this new excuse is, the transgender Antifa. I guess leave it to Hasan to instantly bring up trans people out of nowhere. Nobody has mentioned trans people in this entire debate at all. But of course, Hasan is going to bring it up to use it as a shield, right? And this is some classic manipulation, because now if you want to criticize the fact that Hasan is encouraging violence, he's trying to tie it to, oh, well, you basically hate LGBT guys. Now, obviously, that makes no sense at all, but the brave Hasan Piker always hiding behind minorities, right? His entire life. Anyways, he decided to double alt. Then he says it's because of Israel, of course.
Shabbos Kestenbaum, if you're a Democrat, continue to campaign with Hasan. Yeah, killed those motherfuckers in the streets. Then please shut the f*** up being pretending Trump is not Hitler, ICE is not Gestapo, Republicans are not Nazis. Yeah, it's really funny. I have noticed that virtually every single person that's doing this, Hasan is responsible for the shooting, happens to be a propagandist for the state of Israel. Interesting. Very interesting stuff. I've yet to see a single motherfucker that has been actively saying Hasan is responsible for this, not be a propagandist for Israel. Very strange stuff.
Right, of course. So we are 2 minutes into this crash out, and this guy's already used trans people and Israel. Holy shit, bro. This is like starting a mission.
I mean, that's what he
and
does.
Using all your special grenades on the first floor. Save some for later, man. Israel was your ultimate. God damn it. We had to use that for the team fight. He used it on the minions. You just know Hasan is bronze at League of Legends, bro. He don't know ball. I can't believe Israel would do this. Israel after Hasan again. They used up all the milk in his fridge. They sabotaged his shock collar so he couldn't shock Kaya. In some occasions, could shock Kaya. Can't believe Israel would do this again. So then Hasan goes on to say that the rhetoric is actually too calm. It's too chill, right? Despite the fact that there was just an assassination, Hasan goes, no, we need to actually make it worse, right?
Remember when Democrats spokesperson Hasan Piker, who campaigned with Abdullah Said, called him murder? Rick Scott, Democrats are shamelessly encouraging their base to use violence against conservatives. It's funny because like then there are also fans of the Republican Party that are just like, what are you doing about it? Like you're not even doing anything about it. They're just like tuning up their audience to try to take care of me, I guess. The journalist at the White House Correspondents' Dinner yesterday, do it refers to
killing Trump. Yeah, they're also saying Taylor Lorenz is responsible. Are the
Yeah,
reports
Taylor
of the shooters
Lorenz
supporting the idea
is
verified? No, they're not. It's fake.
basically
it's fake news. You can't be
old
like, oh, the
female
left
Hasan.
is incredibly violent and dangerous.
Yes.
When one, most of the liberal elected representatives, even left representatives, are pretty chill with their rhetoric. Like they are even too restrained, from my estimations.
They're
I think
not.
they are unbelievably restrained for the most part.
Right. So according.
Yeah, people who have to be voted into office are a little more restrained. They're not, by the way. They're just compared to Hasan, they are.
To Hasan, this is showing restraint. Assassinations are apparently restrained. So I wonder, like,
I don't know if I'd take a lot of that take, but anyway, Hasan's retarded. Speaking of retarded, guys, you just know if someone's trying to go around you, don't back into them. This essentially happened to me on an order picker. The only difference was I was stopped and someone backed into me. They didn't know I was there, even though I was honking and saying excuse me, honking, saying excuse me. So someone made a gap for me. I started to slide by, and then I was just like, I better stop and get off of here and go say hello to this person before I try to slide behind them. And I stopped, and I leaned over to the left, and then this person backed into me, and it didn't happen like this, but then they looked at me like, what'd you do? It didn't end like that, though. Funny thing is, I was the asshole, but even if I had gotten off and interrupted the very lengthy conversation they were having in one of the main aisles, I still would have been the asshole. But anyway, that's the decision. It's outrageous. Mag is scared of you. Yeah, because you're killing people. Anyway, it's obviously mild hyperbole, but anyway, guys, that's it for today. Again, just stay informed. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Crowder. Don't listen to Hasan. Don't listen to anybody. Do the research, and that's one of the reasons why I respect Crowder, even though he's a staunch conservative, because he posts sources from 95% liberal sources. So, that's to be somewhat admired. But that's all I got for today, guys. This has been Alfie Animus for the Associate.